is where your salads for the next 6 months start. No garden, no money, no problem. Today, I'm going to show you how to grow a ridiculous amount of food in a tiny space with your stuff that you were about to throw in the trash. We're talking recycled containers, growing indoors, and a little known farming trick called relay planting. That means you'll never have to have a harvest gap again. Let's go. Most people think that you need a big backyard and a big budget to grow real food, and that's not necessarily true. Seed packets are about $1, sunlight is free. The soil is really the most expensive part, but the containers you need, you probably walked past 3 of them this morning without even thinking about it. It's the only thing standing between you and a thriving garden is knowing what actually works, and that's what we're covering today. Let's talk containers. I'm gonna rank these by how surprised you're gonna be. Let's start with old tires in here. These are great for leafy greens and herbs. You can stack 2 high for root vegetables. Next, we have a colander or an old basin. These are great for herbs or strawberries since drainage is built in. You could also use a kid's sandbox for mint, sage, or strawberries. These are all plants that want to take over the container, so it'll contain it perfectly. Storage bins. These are awesome for cabbage, lettuce, and more. All you need to do is add some drainage holes and you'll have an instant raised bed. I showed you this earlier, but egg carton shells. These are perfect for seedling starters and you can plant them directly in the soil. The cardboard biodegrades around the roots and adds some nutrients. The rule is pretty simple. If it can hold soil and you can poke holes in the bottom, it's a planter. Full stop.
Let's take a moment and pause. What's the weirdest container you've ever grown something in? Or what do you have at home that you think could work?
Let's talk indoors because there's too much indoor gardening knowledge going around. Here are the 3 basic things that actually matter. 1, light. You need a south-facing window. That's gold. If you don't have a south-facing window, a $15 clip-on grow light will change everything. You can grow lettuce, herbs, microgreens. They'll all thrive under grow lights. You don't need a really expensive setup, and while this is still an investment, it will pay itself back with the produce that you grow. Drainage. This is how most beginners kill their plants. Every recycled container needs drainage holes. Use a tray underneath. Don't skip this one. Number 3, airflow. Stagnant air equals mold and weak stems. Crack a window or put a small fan nearby on the lowest setting for 30 minutes a day. Your plants will literally get stronger. Some of the best crops for indoor growing or small space growing are lettuce and spinach. You can come and cut again and harvest weekly. Radishes are the fastest indoor growing crop and only take 25 days to yield. Herbs like basil, mint, chives, and parsley can sit on your windowsill all year long. Microgreens are the most nutritious per square inch of any crop, and cherry tomatoes. You'll need a grow light, but it's worth it. The biggest mistake people make is that they think they need more space, and you probably don't need more space. We just need to think smarter. We can use vertical space, you can stack your containers, use shelving, think up, not necessarily out.
Let's take a moment and pause. Which of these do you actually have access to right now? A, a south-facing windowsill. B, a grow light, or are you able to buy one? C, neither. I need a plan C. D, A and B. I'm already set.
Okay, this is the part most gardening videos never tell you about. It's called relay planting, and once you understand it, you'll never have a dead season again. The idea is simple. Before crop A finishes, you must plant crop B right next to it. Crop A gets harvested, crop B steps in. 0 gap, maximum yield for minimum space. For example, spinach gets planted in early spring, and then beets love the warmth that follows in the summer. Then we have lettuce, which is done by midsummer, and if you grow peanuts or summer beans, they fix the nitrogen for the next crop in the soil. If you plant early cabbage and okra, the okra will take over when the cabbage ends. You can also do trellised peas and spinach below as a carpet, which also allows you to use the vertical space and the horizontal. One last example is radishes, which grow very fast and are done in 25 days. Then you can plant carrots or beets in their place, which take a longer time. Key with relay planting in indoors or in containers is that you stagger your seeding by 2 to 3 weeks. Plant one tray, then 2 weeks later, plant another. You'll always have something ready to harvest. It's called succession and relay combined, and it's the closest thing to a cheat code that honest gardening has.
Let's take a moment and pause. Think back. If you plant radishes today, how many days until you can relay the next crop in? A, 10 days. B, 25 days. C, 45 days. D, 60 days. If you guessed 25 days, you're correct.
Okay, so before we talk about the challenge I'm going to give you all, I have to show you one more thing, because this might be the most satisfying part of the whole video. You're already spending money at the grocery store. What if I told you that a huge chunk of what you buy can be regrown right at home? Often, the scraps you normally throw in the trash, we're talking free food from food you already paid for. Let's go through some of my favorite ones. You can regrow green onions, romaine or butter lettuce, celery, garlic cloves, ginger root, potatoes or sweet potatoes, tomatoes, herb stems, bell peppers, avocados, and more. The green onion trip alone will save most households $20 or $30 a year, and that's only one item. Now imagine doing this with everything. You start to realize your kitchen trash is basically a free seed bank. And here's where it gets even smarter. You can combine grocery regrowing with relay planting to start your lettuce stump regrowed in water once it's rooted, then you plant it into a container where your radishes already are finishing up, Relay in, zero waste out.
Okay, let's take a moment and pause. Seriously, pause this video. Go check your fridge or your fruit bowl right now. I bet you have at least one of these items: green onions, a lettuce stump, a sprouting garlic clove, or a chunk of ginger. Find it, put it in a glass of water, and hit play again. Do it now, I'll wait.
Okay, here's your challenge. This one has 2 parts. Part 1, you're gonna save a piece of food from the trash and start regrowing it in a glass of water this week. That's it, day 1. Part 2, once it's rooted about 10 days later, you're gonna transplant them into a recycled container that I hope you found. Repeat this step in about a week or 2 with another piece of food. And then you can transplant them into your recycled container, and you've got a relay system running, both crops from food you've already bought. In about 30 days, you'll have a working, zero cost, zero waste mini food garden in your home.
All right, so come with me and let's do this together. So I found this pot on the side of the road. I pick them up whenever I can find them. So it's a pretty decent sized pot, and we're gonna plant some potatoes in it. I have these potatoes that obviously have sprouted significantly. It's kind of wild actually. So we're gonna plant these today and grow some more potatoes. You can get any type of organic soil. I'm a big promoter of organic, especially in the US. You never know what your food is, so if you can splurge for it, especially if you're going to regrow it, it's worth it. So this is not my favorite soil, so I don't recommend it because it does have peat moss in it, which is very controversial. That's a whole other video we could do. But still, it's what I was able to find, and we're going to use it. So I'm going to fill the majority of my container with this soil. Okay, so you can see I filled the majority of it. I'm going to put the potatoes in now, okay? So I'm gonna dig down a little, put them in. I have 4 of them because I cut 2 potatoes in half. So I'm gonna dig 2 of them down further into the dirt. And I actually might put a little more dirt on here. And then I'm gonna put these 2 in here and put a little bit more dirt and then compost. I just spilled compost all over the ground. It's okay. We saved it. Put some more on top. Put some more on plants that I have out here. I personally bought this compost online, but like I said, you can get it free. You can go to your local garden center and get some. You can get compost a lot of ways. It's very important, it has a lot of nutrients, so that's why we add it on top, but it's not all of it because it's not technically soil. So once it looks like this, then we're gonna water it, and then we're gonna let it sit for a few days and see what happens. I think you'd be surprised to see how fast things can grow. I have some green onions in here, I have a bunch of garlic heads growing in here, all from groceries that were gonna go bad. I have parsley and my favorite, shallots. Again, just recycled containers. These happen to be pretty. I got them at the thrift store or somewhere cheap off the side of the road, and here they are, growing my food.
If you've made it this far, you're already ahead of 90% of beginner gardeners. You got recycled containers, indoor growing, relay planting, and now you can regrow half your weekly groceries. Thanks for learning with me, and I'll see you in the garden.